Mother and sister with the kids will live here. It's too cramped in their apartment. Don't argue, we've decided. The house had been a fortress. A dream, built brick by brick from shared hopes and plans. 7 years had gone into turning an old inherited dacha into a warm, inviting nest. All the work was done by hand, drawing sketches, choosing wallpaper and curtains, laying tiles, assembling furniture. Every creaking floorboard remembered debates about paint colors. Every nail had been driven in with love. There had been happiness, or so it was believed, until one evening changed everything. He returned from work later than usual, moody and distant. Ate dinner in silence, staring into the plate. Every question was met with a flat response. Worry began to stir. Maybe something was wrong at work. But then, while dishes were being washed, he approached from behind and said the sentence that shattered everything. So, starting tomorrow, Mom and sister with the kids are moving in. Stunned, water still running, plate in hand. Slowly turning around, they're moving in? For a visit, came the hopeful question. He looked away. No to live. Their place is too small. The nephews are growing up. You understand. Complaints, stress. They need more space. It felt surreal. His mother and sister, along with her 2 wild sons, were about to move into the 120 square meters dream that once felt huge for just 2. Are you serious? We never even discussed this. Where would they stay? Came the trembling voice. With a familiar, scolding expression, he responded, Don't start. The guest rooms upstairs are empty. There's space. Their family. We've already decided. That we struck the hardest. Who is we? Him, his mother, and his sister? Where did that leave the wife? The decision had been made without her. The ground beneath her seemed to give way. Next morning, a delivery van arrived. He helped unload boxes and old furniture reeking of mothballs. His mother walked in like a queen, surveying the newly renovated home with a critical eye. Not bad, she said, wiping her finger along the dusty edge of a chair she brought. Though the wallpaper's a bit clinical. I'd have picked something livelier. Her daughter quickly followed, collapsing onto the favorite couch. The kids 8 and 6 raced through the house, leaving sticky juice trails on light upholstery. A protest rose, but was dismissed with a tired wave. Oh, come on. They're just kids. Don't be such a bore. He shrugged and went outside to carry more boxes. And so it began. The lovingly prepared guest rooms became storage spaces filled with noise. His mother took over the kitchen, moved every pot, insulted the spices, and began cooking greasy, pungent meals that caused headaches. The peaceful morning ritual, coffee on the veranda in silence, was shattered by 7 a.m. cartoons, screams, and endless complaints. Attempts to talk led nowhere. Every night, alone in the bedroom, there were pleas. This isn't living. I don't feel like I belong here anymore. He would sigh, turn to the wall, and mumble, just bear with it. They'll settle in. They're my family. Nothing settled. It got worse. The tiny home office, a workspace and sanctuary of books and embroidery, was turned into a playroom without asking. One day, upon entering, embroidery patterns lay torn, greasy fingerprints smeared the laptop. Tears of helplessness followed. When the sister was confronted, the reply was baffled. What's the big deal? It was empty anyway. The kids need somewhere to play. The breaking point came a month later. The flower bed was found torn apart. Peonies, precious and deeply loved, had been ripped out to make space for dill. For her, they were useless decoration. For the intruder, dill was practical. The symbolic violation was complete. Dreams, values, beauty, uprooted and replaced with something foreign, unwanted, and imposed. That night, there was a fight. Yelling, tears, an ultimatum, them or me. For the first time, he fought back. Why do you keep saying my house, my house? Do you even know where the money came from to finish it? Shock. What do you mean? We saved. You took extra jobs. I cut every corner. He laughed bitterly. Your savings couldn't buy a shed. Half the money for the construction and all the interior came from my mother. She sold her mother's apartment for us to finish this damn place. Silence. The air vanished. That had never been known. He had said it came from a project bonus. It had all been a lie. "Why didn't you tell me?" she whispered. "What would it have changed? You'd resent it or refuse it." "I didn't want drama. She helped, I'm grateful. Now they need help, and I won't throw them out. So deal with it." At that moment, the door opened without knocking. His mother stepped in, triumphant. "That's right, son," she said, glaring down. "Finally, you showed her who runs this house. What, you thought he earned this mansion on his own? Half this house is mine, and I'll live here as long as I see fit." The words struck like a verdict. Searching his face for a glimmer of compassion, there was none. Just exhaustion and irritation. He had made his choice. He stood with them. At that moment, it became clear the marriage, like the house, had been built on a lie. What seemed like love and partnership was nothing but illusion. There were no more tears. Only ice settling inside. The final straw, a garden torn up, a marriage torn apart. Quietly, a bag was taken from the closet and clothes were thrown into it, one by one. "Where are you going?" came the startled question. "I'm leaving," was the calm, even reply. "You can all live here together in your house. Enjoy it." A scoff followed. "Good riddance. Finally realized you're not indispensable." But there was no response. Just a firm grip on the bag, the keys to an old car, and a silent exit from the bedroom. In the living room, cartoons blasted at maximum volume. No one turned their head as the walk continued past the destroyed flower bed, into the car and away. There was no destination. Just driving, tears flowing freely, not from pain, but from release. It was terrifying, it hurt, but for the first time in a month, it felt possible to breathe again. The road led to a small cottage on the edge of town, the last safe place. The only one who remained. The story was told, shaky and broken. Tea with mint followed. Then sleep. And in the morning, words that would become a lifeline. "A home, my dear, is not made of walls. A home is where you are respected and loved. Without that, it's a prison, no matter how golden. You did the right thing." That simple truth changed everything. A lawyer was hired. The divorce and property division were long and ugly. They tried to claim there was no right to the house, that the mother's financial help excluded any entitlement. But there were no documents, just an informal gift. The house had been bought and finished during the marriage, and by law, that made it shared property. The court ruled everything would be split evenly. He had to pay half the market value of the house. To do that, the house had to be sold. The very same house that had been worth betraying for. The same house that had destroyed a family. There was fury. Accusations of greed and ingratitude flew. But none of it mattered anymore. The settlement was used to buy a small but cozy apartment in a quiet neighborhood. Life began again. A better job was found. Ceramic classes were joined, something long dreamed of. A dog was adopted. Happiness was slowly relearned, alone. Almost a year later, there was a phone call. The voice on the other end was subdued. After the house was sold, a large apartment was bought together, but life had become hell. The mother and sister constantly argued. Demands for money. Nephews who refused to listen. "Only now do I see the hell I put you through," came the admission. "I was a fool. I destroyed everything. I realized my home was wherever you were. Can I come? Can we try again?" But the voice on this side of the line felt only a soft ache for the past, a love and trust that had already been trampled. There was nothing left to rebuild. "No," came the firm reply. "You can't step into the same river twice, especially when it's become dirty and dark. You have your life. I have mine. Goodbye." The phone was hung up. The window was gazed through. In the small apartment, there was peace. On the windowsill, violets bloomed. At the feet, a loyal dog lay curled up, sleeping. It was home, truly home. And in that moment, it became clear. Sometimes, to find happiness, you must burn the past to the ground and not be afraid to start rebuilding on the foundation of self-respect and love for yourself.